Folks, the Budgie Smugglers, we are back.
We're back.
Hello, Jeremy Dooley, comedian. I'm joined by Stephen Bradshaw, also comedian.
Also comedian. And it's Christmas. It's comedy Christmas.
It's comedy festival time here in Melbourne, 2025 Melbourne International Comedy Festival. How's it been for you, Stevie B?
It's been all guns blazing. Couldn't be happier with week one. A ton of shows. Everything's going well. People are rocking up. People are enjoying the shows. Yourself?
Yeah, it's been great. I've had 3 nights of my show, Daddy Cool, all packed for opening night. Somehow we oversold tickets. So there was a lot of people crammed into a room, a lot more than what was designed for that room. But it was hot. It was a great show. Audience has been great. People have been hanging out and having chats and buying merch and bringing gifts as well, which is cool for baby. Which has
nice.
Been lovely. So thank you to all the smugglers who have been rocking up and giving some stuff for little Zeppy. Yeah, it's been great. Couple of reviewers in, which is always, a little bit
Nervy?
A little bit. I think I'm a lot better with that now than what I was when I was first starting. So the reviews have been positive. So that's been great. But you got to take them with a grain of salt. It's, of the amount of people who have been to the show over 3 nights, it's like a tiny percentage of them. So, some will love it, some won't. It's not for everyone. It's fun. It's been funny.
Awesome. You said opening night was a hot one.
Oof, it was in a lot of different ways. I was basically like doing a weight cut on stage. So we had the wrong setting on the air conditioner. So it said it was 18 degrees. You want the room to be a little bit on the cooler side.
Yes.
Has more energy in there. If it's on the warmer side, people it can get a little bit sleepy in the room. And they were laughing from start to finish in all the right spots. Big laughs, but I did notice on stage in the first 5 minutes, people like readjusting their clothes from the heat. And it's because we had it on the heat setting at 18 degrees and not the cool setting. So got a bit warm in there. And
false advertising, Daddy Cool.
Yeah, it was Daddy super hot. Lucky I was wearing a black T-shirt so I could wring the sweat out of it afterwards and it didn't look like a wet T-shirt competition.
Totally. Our air conditioner shat itself at Goff's as well on Thursday night.
It's a conspiracy from Big Aircon.
I don't know what it is. And I haven't told you this. I've taken, for some opening night, I wore a blazer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just like, opening, let's dress up a little.
Yeah.
I was
bring a bit of Vegas to Richmond.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a lot of compliments on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to roll this out for the whole week. Terrible decision when I was on stage and the aircon shat itself. And I'm up there sweating balls in a suit jacket and whatnot. But so that was good. But yeah, all our shows have been going great. 10 for 10. Obviously, we opened on a Wednesday. So doing our 10 o'clock show on a Wednesday was a risk. Ticket sales, not going to lie, didn't look great for opening night, but managed to get 20, 30 people in there and it was a great show.
That's a show.
Yeah, and we were really happy with that. Saturday night was a banger. 2 sold out shows. The Darker comedy show that was on before us. They sold out. The 10 for 10 sold out, which was really good.
Actually, that reminds of that the Dark Time show.
Yes.
I had someone slide into my DMs asking to get tickets to my show, but my show was at full capacity. He's like, I'm going on a second date. Where is his name? Cameron Coleman slid into my DMs.
Oliver's brother.
Maybe, yeah. Or John.
Yeah.
John's grandson.
Yes.
One of the greatest goal kickers in AFL, VFL history. Any chance of a couple of tickets to the show? Just missed out on tickets. We're very sold out at this point. He's like, he sent me a screenshot of the Dark Times Darker Comedy with the caption, "Would this one be too brutal for a second date with a girl from America?"
Ooh.
And I said, look, I don't know. you'll learn a lot about your date, and if you've got comedy that sort of meshes and things in common. So Cameron, I hope it went well, and I hope there's a third date, and I've got space on Thursday night this week.
If he left it late, he would have got tickets to that one either. Sorry about that, Cameron. I did jump up on Dark Times, Darker Comedy, and I'm not really a dark comedian per se, and obviously running venue night 2. Tom was away. The person I run the room with, Tom Santameros, he was in Geelong. He was doing the Geelong Festival Gala.
Wow.
They had a Melbourne International Comedy Festival Geelong Gala.
I was going to say, because Geelong Comedy Festival's in November and they've missed the gala time.
It was weird. It was a weird decision, but I'll tell you what the weirdest decision was, not having the 2024 Geelong Comedian of the Year on the fucking show, you dogs. But heard it went terrible anyway, so it's fine. No, I heard it went great. I'm just joking. So I was by myself, so I had a lot on my plate. Had some help. Blaze White was helping. He was emceeing and doing all that kind of stuff. He was great, but just a little bit extra on my plate than normal, and forgot that I had to do Dark Times, Darker Comedies, and didn't really plan out a set. And it's the classic, those dark shows. If you just go on and do normal material, you're usually best on. People say they want to see dark comedy, but when they go to a dark comedy show and it's dark, everyone's going, this is dark. And then there's usually a comedian going off at them going, you bought a ticket to a dark comedy show. You don't even like dark comedy. I love that. A meltdown where the audience gets in trouble for not laughing.
Berating the audience is always a good angle to go down.
So it was good. So I just did my regular 5-minute spot that I normally pull out, and it just went great. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Didn't have to do Dark Times. Did a gig at the Golden Gate. That was good. Chris Franklin was on there. Our friend Max Sadnick, another fantastic comedian that I haven't heard of, was on there. So that was fun. But yeah, just getting around. Did you get to see any shows, Dools?
I haven't seen any shows yet. I think Wednesday night, I think I'll try and get into see some shows. I got the night off. So I'll try and see a couple of shows in town on Wednesday. But also want a big shout out to Richard Meneses. He was opening for me the last few nights and did a great job. He's a very good...
Very funny man.
Very good comic. Deserves more, so get around the Canadian sensation, Richard Meneses.
Dickie Meneses. Any other comedy festival news before we get into... Or any other just life stuff?
No. Everything's been good. Everything's good. We've got week 2 of the festival popping up. So some ticket, the Friday and Saturday night shows are pretty full. I think Saturday's just about sold out, and Friday's not far off. But if you want to come and check out my show, Daddy Cool, I would say that Thursday or Sunday would be your safest bets to get a ticket.
Get in there quick and get your 10 for 10 for 10 10s. They're starting to move now. 2 minutes to kill. I forgot to mention our little
how's that
show
going? The open mic smorgasbord.
Yeah, so we've done 2 shows. The first show went pretty good, pretty standard, and I think went very well. Crowd was into it. Saturday show, which is what I love about 2 minutes to kill. Absolute diabolical shit show, Dools. Absolute fucking shit show in the best possible way, as only that show can. I think what I love about 2 minutes to kill, we get a lot of up and coming, what we call in the industry open mic comedians. So if you're not a comedian, you're listening along. It was roughly 13 young white guys talking about their dick and masturbating. So not on stage, talking about masturbation, which was... which, the crowd gets tired of after about the 7th thing, but it was fine. A lot of very funny comedians. We had one comedian from Queensland. The show started at 6. She booked it in 6 Queensland time, so it was an hour late. So as we were wrapping up the show, she burst through the front door. Hot mess, just completely disheveled, and I literally threw her on stage as she walked in. That was chaos. So yeah, just I love that show. It's just an absolute mess of a show. A lot of good times.
Can we just backtrack a little bit?
Yes.
Do you say masturbate?
As opposed to the masturbate?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think like you're the master
Of your domain.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway, I'm glad he's, two other guys talking about masturbation. That's good. You know what, Jules? We'll get into the comments now, and which is a really good point. Some people only, I've been getting a lot of mostly DMs about feedback for the show, all positive. But what I am liking is what people are listening to, which parts they like. So there's some people, they don't like sports at all. So they just listen to the start of the show. I've got some people that when we talk about cricket, they just stop listening. They tune out. There's some people that only listen if there's been an F1 race on and they just want to hear the F1 rap. Have you been getting any similar? I get a lot of pats on the back and a lot of, hey, we love the show, that kind of stuff. But specific feedback about what people like and don't like.
Specific, the idea of cricket not being popular is a recurring thing.
Do you think it's because cricket itself, the sport, or do you think it's our lack of knowledge on the subject?
I think there's a bit of both. I feel like people have been really commenting and enjoying the tangents that we go on, less so much the sport. From what I am reading and people are telling me in person is that they get angry when we talk about sport because we tend to make mistakes.
Butcher it.
Yeah, so that's a thing. But we got a bunch of comments in the last week. Let's go through them.
I got one comment just to fact check because this is from a few weeks ago. I said Max Verstappen is the wet weather specialist. And then someone, a friend of mine who listens to this show, hello Bruno, said Senna is the all-time great wet weather specialist in the car and that we should watch the show. But he's Brazilian, so he's quite biased.
I've got the actual quote here in front of me from Bruno Borio. The GOAT of rain is Ayrton Senna. All pilots agree on that. Do yourself a favour and watch Senna on Netflix.
There you go. There's a recommendation. What about old mate Bruno dropping the word pilot instead of driver to make him sound like he knew what he was talking about? Whereas I'd fucking doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think Senna was flying planes.
That's what. But the F1 driver they call pilots. Apparently. Do they? That's like the technical.
He's getting real like deep in the weeds there. Bruno. He's a big F1 fan.
No, he just watched Senna.
Just watched Senna and thought he knew it all. On the Pelicans, so we had a chat about the Pels coming to Melbourne and it being a bit of a fizzer, not something we're interested in, and we spoke about who we would like for our food sort of challenge there. You said Shane Mumford, I said big Ivan Soldo, and Ivy commented saying that he would smash a HSP, and I think Zion Williamson would not be able to compete with Ivan Soldo in an eating challenge.
I think HSP is very specific as well. I think you're right. I think like if you took Ivy over to New Orleans and they had like a beignet eating competition, like I reckon Zion would have him. Yeah, the little donuts, which I have had the beignets in New Orleans. They're amazing. And I think there's like a hometown advantage, and which I think the HSP, it's a lot if you haven't had one before. I think you're right. Ivan would destroy him.
I reckon Ivan Soldo would shade Zion Williamson in any type of eating challenge.
You think so?
Ivan Soldo is an elite. He's a premiership ruckman, I think, when he was at Richmond.
Yes.
Elite eater, like elite footballer. Eating capabilities are through the roof. And if anything, he's had to curb his eating to be a professional athlete. But he's good on the tooth. I have on very good authority there. So Ivan Soldo, keep going there. The post-bomb meal. I copped a bit of stick. Imagine curry. Fillet fish, Jeremy Dooley. You think you know a person. Well, do I know you? Imagine I wouldn't have a post-bomb curry, that's for sure. But if I did.
See what you did there.
Yeah, you'd want to, I don't know if you'd want something. Yeah, you wouldn't want something too spicy. You're already in enough pain from the bomb. So I'd probably go a white person's curry and go the old buttered chicken.
Buttered chicken.
Blaze White. No pickle in the quarter pounder. Sorry, I didn't realise Dooley was a child.
Yeah, I didn't want to call you out on that, but that is I stopped doing that when I was about 12. I manned up and started going, you just hate the taste,
It's just
texture.
the Macca's pickle. I like any other burger. I'll have the pickle if it's in there. That's fine. But a Macca's burger, there's something about I'm just not into that.
Fair enough. Look, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. Obviously, the Paddy Mills, everyone was getting behind Paddy Mills.
A lot of Paddy Mills stuff.
We'll get back to that in a moment. People yelling out free Paddy, of course. But this one got the most. Josh Giddey, obviously, we were talking about the Josh Giddey stat of the week last week, which was 15 points, 10 rebounds, 17 assists, and 8 steals. And that one just got a lot of comments. I'll do the first half, but and they all had a similar theme. Nate Wells said, kept all those stat lines under 18. Nate, well done. Brando said, I'm not sure any of them dated a high schooler either. A truly unique player. That was a good one, Brando. And then with a fire emoji. And then someone else said he'd date all those stats as well.
Poor Josh.
So you just copped it hard. Yeah. And it was first comment on every single platform. And I'm sick of it, Dools. I'm sick of this slander against Josh Giddey. He was 19.
Yeah.
He was 19. He met her at an over 18 club.
At a club.
He's 19, she's 16. It's basically a Romeo and Juliet age difference love story. It's basically
probably too old for Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, probably a little bit. It's not like when we were in high school and there's like a 25-year-old in a suited up VN Commodore picking up a 15-year-old. It's not the same.
That was a thing in high school.
It was a huge thing in high school, especially you're Broady, I'm Melton. It was huge in our areas, but it's not the same thing. He was a teenager. Sure, is it great? No, it's not. I can't fully defend it, but it's not as bad. He gets slandered on every single post, and I'm just sick of it. I'm calling it the Oklahoma Romeo and Juliet. Leave Josh alone, everyone. Leave him alone.
Yeah, Karl Malone doesn't get that amount of hate, and he should.
He should.
And then, because, we went through, there was all the players who had never achieved that stat line, and it got a bit random in the chat, in the comments on Instagram from Doc Hamish the comic. Hello, Hamish Dio, who opened for me last year, I think on the week that you were on. Yeah, and Ryder Jack. And so they added a bunch of players who had never had Giddey's stat line. Brent Price never had that stat line. Brent Price, though, sneakily athletic for a white dude.
Yes.
He did the free throw line dunk in the dunk contest one year.
There's so many of these, but is it a white boy renaissance summer? Cooper Flag coming in, Giddey in Fuego. Obviously, we've got the MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Big LP, Şengün.
It's the 50s all over again.
Maybe. Bring back Nick Collison and Tyler Hansbrough, I say.
Let's go.
Bronny James, never achieved that stat line.
Never had that stat line.
Chris Golding, never had that stat line. Outback Shaq, big Nathan Jawai, never had that stat line.
No way.
Tell you what, though, he would go well in an eating competition, Outback Shaq. He would go hard.
Him versus Zion would be interesting.
Oof. Shane Heal, never had that stat line. Sham God. Never had that stat line, but did create a type of dribble move.
He sure did.
One of the all-time great names.
Sham God?
Yeah, Sham God.
I loved it.
So we should do one, a top 5 great sporting names.
Have you ever tried to do? I have.
It's difficult to get the spin, to get the ball. But it's very challenging. It's elite move. Andrew Gaze, Drewy, for all the things he's done, never had that stat line. Paddy Mills, we love him. Never had that stat line. Tsunami Puppy, never had that.
That was my favorite one. Tsunami Puppy.
Andrew Bogut also never had that stat line.
Not even close. Thank you, everyone, for all those comments. You can find that post and give us more because we love more random people that never had that stat line.
Yeah.
Because I tell you could literally write any basketballer ever because no basketball's ever had that stat line.
Exactly.
In the NBA.
Fennis Dembo never had that stat line.
All right, let's get into the weakest sports tools. Based on the feedback, I thought we should talk about this first. because we just want you who listen to know that we listen and we take on board everything you say. And so the biggest news of the week to me was that South Australia won the Sheffield Shield.
Wow.
Which is cricket.
There you go.
Huge.
There you go. Did people still go to that?
I doubt it.
I mean, I remember there was a period of time where the Sheffield Shield was very popular, and you'd know the players before they joined the Australian national team and became part of that. Like
a Dean Jones type.
Yeah, or Brad Hodge.
Brad Hodge was huge. Yep.
I'm trying to think about some of the players that played in the 90s or in that era where I was growing up and was aware of those players for South Australia. Joe Scuderi. Do you remember him?
Nope.
Greg Blewett. Greg Blewett.
I remember.
Yeah. Greg Blewett.
He played a little bit for the Aussie team as well.
That's all I've got. They're the only two that I remember.
Well, they had it was test matches. That was it for so long. And then the one day came in the 80s, and that kind of dilutes what you can watch. And now there's 2020.
I'm
there's
not into
IPL.
2020.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying that it used to be the second most prestigious. Well, it was the most prestigious league outside of the Aussie national team, and now it's a distant seventh. And I didn't know they still played it until today.
Do you know who else was? Darren Lehman, Boof.
Yes.
He's South Australian. And what was the guy, Cosgrove? Mark Cosgrove or something? He was known as Little Big Boof because he was big boy.
Yeah, okay.
Big boy. Oh, there you go. South Australia. Good on you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, South Australia for winning the Sheffield Shield.
Yeah. Maybe you're the South Australia, you're the second best thing to come out of South Australia after Rhea Ripley.
Rhea bloody Ripley. It's tough time of year because we're busy with the comedy festival, but I did manage to catch the first half of the Saints flogging of Richmond.
Yep.
Did you catch any of that?
No, I didn't. I was where was I? I was at the venue getting ready and had my show, but I was checking the scores, and it's about where Richmond's at. I think at the moment, they'll play one half all right or a quarter really well, and then they'll just fall away. Saints look good.
Yeah, we look all right. So we shall see. We lost our first one, but Adelaide look amazing. The most informed maybe team in the AFL. Obviously, we beat Geelong, which was huge. Did what we needed to against Richmond, which we haven't always done. So pretty happy. I was able to. There was a show on. I just ducked over to the pub across the street, watched the first half, and then when all the magic happened, I was on stage the whole time. So I missed the second half, which was a bit of a shame. But and lots happening in footy, but we're not going to talk much about footy today. I think there's a lot going on in basketball.
Huge. And local basketball here, one of the absolute goats of the modern NBL era is leaving, Bryce Cotton.
Yes, which was maybe not a shock, but a little bit of a disappointing. I would say maybe the GOAT of the 21st century.
I would say, you're kind of tossing up between a player like him and
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yep, definitely. Does Derek Rucker still play?
Isn't that Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish?
Hootie and the Blowfish, yeah. Does the Blowfish or Hootie still play?
I'm not sure.
Let her cry.
Banger. It's happening right now. Well, I don't. But Minwoo Lee is eyeing his maiden PGA Tour win after taking a 4-stroke lead into the final round of the Houston Open. Duels. Do you know much about Minwoo?
No. Ask me about golf. Just my eyes go blank and glaze over. Minwoo Lee.
I think he's the highest ranked Aussie on the PGA. He's been knocking on the door for a few years now. A very young, precocious talent. So if he comes away with the Houston Open, we'll be very, very happy with my mate Minwoo.
What about Jason Day? Does he still play golf?
Yeah, he does. Oh, he's good. He's still good. Still good. He was in contention at a major last year. Didn't get the chocolates, but
wasn't his day.
Wasn't his. You can see Jeremy Dooley at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival for his show Daddy Cool, Thursdays to Sundays at the Comedy Collective in Richmond. And if you liked that, if you want someone to make your day, go and see Jeremy Dooley at the Comedy Festival.
And if you are wearing a Jason Day t-shirt, I'll let you in for free.
There you go. And you'll get a free stubby holder.
Steve Erceg, Taya, good fighter, solid fighter, but Brandon Moreno is a very, very dangerous man. And so, Steve lost his fight. He started with a bang in the UFC and then probably is, I think he's found his level. He probably got his title shot a little too early in his UFC tenure. That division is always in a little bit of a state of flux.
Always.
So,
Since Demetrius left.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse. But the Mighty Mouse submission where he got the armbar after turning almost being suplexed into an armbar, that is one of the few sporting moments that I remember exactly where I was at the beach hotel in Bondi, in the back streets of Bondi there, and losing my fucking mind. That was so slick. But I think Steve Erceg, I think he's got all the tools. It's just probably a little bit more power and a little bit more intent in the cage.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying there.
I mean, he wasn't, the odds weren't high of him beating someone like Moreno anyway. Moreno is very top tier in that division. So
and a fan favourite as well. Everyone loves him.
Yeah, I love him as well. Obviously, I was going for Stevie Boy, but I tell you who people don't love. It's New Zealand's Liam Lawson.
You called it.
I did call it.
You called it.
I called it weeks ago.
Poison chalice.
Yes, he. I don't know if it's official, but the ESPN are reporting. Everyone's reporting. Everyone's talking about it. Liam Lawson got the ass from the Red Bull team. They've dropped him down to the second fiddle Racing Bulls team and swapped him with Yuki Tsunoda from Japan. Huge news. 2 races in. They gave him the seat. It could have been Ricardo last year. They could have kept Perez. They could have picked Yuki last year to replace him, but they went with Liam Lawson.
They could have got Mark Webber.
Could have got Mark Webber back. He was available. Manager of our mate, Oscar Piastri, and last week's number
could
one
have
in the
got Craig
power rankings.
Lowndes.
Yeah.
Mark Scaife.
Scaife would do all right in the F1 car.
What about Dick Johnson? The double dick.
Yeah, old
Double doodle.
Double donger. He's dead.
Okay.
Is he?
Maybe not available. I don't know.
Has Dick Johnson gone down?
Don't know.
Let's have a look. Get the fuck out of here. 79, doing well.
Yes.
Get him in there. Get Dick Johnson
Dick in there.
into the Racing Bulls. But yeah, speaking of Dicks, Liam Lawson unfortunately lost his seat. But yeah, could have saw that one coming.
You called it.
Yeah, I can't claim it as the only person. I think a lot of people saw it coming. But anytime a Kiwi gets fired, we celebrate at the Smugglers. Outside of Stephen Adams.
We love Stephen Adams. Houston Rockets, Clutch City. Hey, speaking of NBA, Dyson Daniels is just taking the piss. He's got over 200 steals now. Youngest ever to hit that mark, beating out Irvin Magic Johnson.
And climbing up, that's pretty crazy to break a record like that. Obviously, the most steals in 15 years, and there's still 7-8 games.
Still a bunch of games, and he's
weeks.
missed a fair few games as well. He hasn't played every game. It just goes to show, get some minutes, good things happen, especially if you're an Aussie.
Yes.
Play the Aussies.
We'll talk about that even more.
Play the Aussies.
Oh, I've got a bit more on that.
Bit closer to home, to Dyson Daniels is from Bendigo, but our boy Johnny Furphy from Clifton Hill. Give him some minutes. He's been doing some stuff lately, hasn't he?
He's been doing some stuff. And this was another request in the DMs. We needed to talk about Johnny Furphy. It was brought to my attention.
A few people have mentioned.
Yeah, but, to be fair.
He hasn't done much.
There's not much to talk about. I'm sorry.
Conspiracy.
But huge game from Johnny Furphy. Maybe career defining. He scored duels. Listen to this. 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals. In the G League.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the Bronny James scored 40 in the G League. So, but that's a good sign. You go down. It's like when you go to the VFL, you get 40 touches, you're back in the seniors.
Get your confidence up.
Get your confidence up. I like that.
Yep.
Also, the Pacers set a team 3-point record recently for most threes in a game, and Johnny Furphy shot one of them.
Hey.
So, and there were We Want Furphy chants in the audience.
The beer.
There could have been that, actually. Yeah, I should have fact-checked that one. But, they might have just wanted beer.
Johnny Furphy is no lie. That is for sure. All right, let's go away from Clifton Hill and go to Box Hill, where Box Hill Benny got booed on his return to Brooklyn. What do you think about that?
I don't like the booing. I don't like booing in general. I'm not a big booer, unless it's at the umpires. They can go fuck themselves. But I'm not a big booer. Ben was injured the whole time he was there. I think in Philly, there was a lot of booing for Ben. I could see where that came from, the way that all kind of went down. But this one, I just thought, he's been injured. He's making his way back. What do you care, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I'm
not into it. A couple of reasons. One, he didn't ask to get traded or bought out or anything like that. So it wasn't his decision there.
Yeah.
When he came to Brooklyn, it was a very different team and his role was very different because they were trying to win.
Yeah.
And then, when he got healthy, they were not trying to win anymore. So there's kind of no use for a player like that. You want to put your good players like on the bench and, hold them out for, extra surgeries and injury and stuff like that. Not classy, Brooklyn.
Yeah, grow up, Brooklyn.
Yeah, grow up.
Grow up.
Grow up.
Dogs. We talked about him last week, but it's gone extra gangbusters. And this, obviously on social media, we put up a clip about it. Got a lot of views, comments, and likes. So we were talking last week about if you just gave Paddy some more minutes.
Free Paddy Mills.
Free Paddy Mills. But this is ridiculous. In that same game at the Clippers in Brooklyn, Paddy Mills, 7 minutes, 14 points, Dools. 14 points. Now, you use the same math I used last week, and this is just basic math. Starting minutes, 36 minutes. If you did the same, he would average 72 points a game, Dools.
And he would.
He would do it.
He would.
He would 1,000% do it.
The maths does not lie.
It's just how maths work. They've got a lot of statisticians. They've got whole departments devoted to breaking down numbers. I can't believe no one on the Clippers organisation has gone, you know what, if we played Paddy more minutes, he'd actually score 72 points per game and be the all-time score leader in points. I think, Chamberlain had something like close to 40 per game one year?
Yeah.
Shit's all over it.
I think the Clippers are just happy playing second fiddle to the Lakers. I think that's what this is. I think they're like, whoa. We can't play Paddy all these minutes because then we'll win. We'll be the best team. And for the narrative, it's a story thing. I think Hollywood has gotten into it and they just want to stay the underdog and always be the little brother to the LA Lakers. And that's why Paddy is nailed to the bench and doesn't get many minutes, despite his obvious box score prowess and his scoring machine capabilities.
I'll give you another stat because this happened last week as well. He played 1 minute in a game on Friday. There was a +2 box score. So in that 1 minute, the team were +2 in that one sole minute. If you played him all 48 minutes, the team would have won by 96 points.
They're going to be undefeated.
They'd win each game by nearly 100 points and he'd be scoring 72 points a game if you just played him more. I don't know what they're doing at LA. You're right. They just love being second banana. If you want to be first banana, play Paddy Mills.
It's obvious.
It's just math.
It is science. There's evidence there. All right. Coming up in Newcastle, old mate Tim Tszyu, he's back in the ring, and look, his career is on the downward slide a little bit. He's lost his last couple of title shots. One of them against Sebastian Fundora, whose surname sounds like Fedora. You can't lose to a guy with
Mad
a fedora.
Hatter. His name is Sebastian the Mad Hatter Fedora. Yeah. I don't know. I think boxing's really different. In MMA, you can take a couple of losses and still be there or thereabouts because of the nature of the sport. But boxing, so you have one loss, your whole career is done. Yeah, it's insane.
I don't
quite get it. I don't quite get it. But he's got a big fight. I don't know if it's a world title. Is it a world title? No.
Look, in boxing, every fight is a world title.
It's like, how does everyone in boxing have 7 titles?
Because there's so many different boxing organizations.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got a title. There's not really, like, there's 1 or 2 sort of organizations where it's like they've got the credibility.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's, it's like being like the world champion, but you wrestle for Melbourne City Wrestling, not the WWE, AEW, or New Japan.
Don't be throwing shade at MCW, but I see what
Carlo
you mean.
Cannon.
I do understand what you mean, but it is a bit wild when it's like, wow, look at all those titles, and one of them's like the Pan Pacific Kmart Open title or something.
Yeah, you want to be the Pan Pacific Target.
Yeah, exactly.
Higher tier,
Here's one for you that you probably know a bit more about than I do, Dools. Ange Postecoglou. It's been a bit rocky, old Ange, over there in Tottenham. Ange Postecoglou's future in charge of Tottenham definitely in the question. What's going on over there with the Spurs?
It has been in question basically since he was hired. So Ange Postecoglou, wherever he goes, he brings a very distinct, unique style. Takes a season or 2 for that to be embedded. And what happens, though, is because he's Australian, the local media, especially in Europe, off him straight away because it's like there's no way an Aussie can be a good coach at this level, blah, blah, blah. And so not only is he coming up against that because they think, Australia is like a soccer, football backwater and that there's no skill here, which is not true. Ange has won everywhere that he's gone except Whittlesea, randomly enough. Had a stinker of a season in Whittlesea. But this year at Tottenham, huge amount of injuries. And so he's been playing players out of position. He's been playing players who have no business being in the starting team, who you'd sort of bring them off the bench slowly to develop, but they're playing the full 90 minutes. I think the British media, you need to grow up because the only thing that should be in the Postecoglou is your writing.
Let's go. Just cook the British media. Oh, you heard it here first.
Grow
the
up.
Budgie smugglers. Grow up, British media. You
Grow up.
whinge and poms. Oh, I love that.
Let's get to the reason why we're all here.
This is the rest. It's all been an entree to the main course, really. Huge. One of the biggest sporting moments in the history of the Budgie smugglers, which have been going for 6 weeks. But yes, the big game winner by Josh Giddey. Big game winner, a game-winning steal, a triple-double. He did everything, but the after half-court shot, you were talking about, know exactly where you were. I didn't get to see it live, unfortunately. I think I was traveling to a gig or something like that, and I got the message and straight away saw it. What were your thoughts on this game? This epic game.
Absolutely iconic. And the moment was that iconic that his stat line was totally overlooked. And it was a very impressive stat line. He did it against the Lakers, who are in form. He did it from half court, and the big knock on him is he can't shoot. He's not a scorer. He's slow. He's not very good, blah, blah, blah. Surely the Bulls have won that trade now. Because everyone's talking about how the Bulls got fleeced, sending Alex Caruso, who hasn't been good since he shaved his hair. He should have kept that receding hairline. The moccasin look was good for AC. But as soon as he, got traded, everyone was up in arms being like, the Thunder have won this trade. This is the best trade ever for the Thunder. The Bulls are terrible. What are they doing? Josh Giddey, flat out balling. I'm gonna jump into our favorite segment. This segment's so nice. We're running it twice today, Jules. But just because you brought it up, this is time for the random Giddey stat of the week, part 1. Because you brought it up, the Caruso trade. It was shat on by almost everyone. I know there were a few pundits that were like, "No, this is a great trade for the Bulls." At the time, I was like, I thought maybe they could have got a little bit more, but when you look at it, here's the random Giddey stat of the week. Basketball Forever, who you can follow on Instagram. They do great work following the Aussies. They gave us Josh Giddey's stat line this season versus Alex Caruso. Josh Giddey, 14 points per game. Caruso, 6.6.
More than double.
More than double.
More than double. Josh Giddey, 7.7 rebounds per game. Caruso, 2.6.
More than double.
More than double. I'd say that's bloody tripled. I don't know. I don't think
I'm not good at maths.
Yeah.
Is it tripled? Let us know.
Close enough. I think it's goddamn. Assists per game. Josh Giddey, 6.9 assists per game. Caruso, 2.5.
More than double.
More than double. God, bloody Caruso. Steal per game. I don't know why they put this in here. 1.2 which is great. Great. Over a steal a game. Caruso, 1.6. So
not more than double.
Not more than double. And blocks
for
per
a defensive specialist, not more than double.
You can't even double him. And then blocks per game, they're the same. 0.6, but I loved Basketball Forever throwing that up there. Just so random, these stats. I absolutely love. But yes, so definitely, and when you factor in age, when you factor in the fact that Giddey is a future all-star, oh yeah.
Great hair too, Josh.
And I'll tell you what's good. He's got more than double of. He's got more than double fucking hair.
Triple.
He's got triple hair.
He's got triple double hair.
He's got more hair on his balls than he does on Caruso's head.
And if he dunked on him, he could,
do the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love that one. But it was epic. It was just epic. Like to do it over LeBron's.
And the photo of Giddey like in the pose and LeBron looking defeated in the background. Oh.
Loved it.
And he plays well against the Lakers. So the Giddey stat of the week, number 2, is his Lakers in 2 games against the Lakers this year. He has got 40 points, 24 boards, 28 assists, and 10 steals. You cut that in half over 2 games. That is a tremendous
monster stat line,
averaging a triple-double with 5 steals against them.
Yeah, they're crazy numbers. NBA Australia, thank you for putting that. Very random though to combine someone's 2 games and just put them together and go, how good does this sound? It was like, what if he had like a 38, what if it was 30, 20 and 20 game like Jokic did? You could. But I do love how they, particularly on Instagram, these accounts love to just randomly put out stats that don't really mean anything, but fuck me, are they impressive.
They're great. Yeah, we love them. Keep them coming.
All right. Anything else on Giddey?
No, he's obviously the Aussie of the week.
He's obviously the Aussie of the week. Aussie of the week. Josh Giddey. Round of applause.
Yeah, on you, Josh.
Love you, Josh.
On your wazza.
Bias take. We're 6th episode in. I think this is the 3rd time this has been our bias take.
Yeah.
Not that we're not scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas, but this just keeps happening. It keeps getting momentum. I'm hearing more and more about it. People are talking about it. It's getting into the ethos, into the lexicon. That goddamn it, Dyson should win Defensive Player of the Year. We've said it here before. We'll say it again. We'll say it many more times. It could be our bias take of the week every bloody week. Heard a lot of talk. I don't know if you saw this. Draymond Green, the devil.
How dare you, Draymond? You're just campaigning for yourself.
He was, because he's in the top 5.
By going against our boy Dyson. I mean, Steve Kerr, your coach, said, he could. So that's a thing. Like, he's got the better nickname as well, the Great Barrier Thief. Like, Dyson, because he vacuums up the ball off the opposition. Like, he has been in fine form all season. If he doesn't get 3 steals or more, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're looking like, maybe he had a bit of a down game, but then you look at his opponent not scoring.
Yes, exactly. They're keeping the ball away from him. Lots of people saying he should win it. I did hear Draymond talking about it later, and very much high praise for Dyson Daniels. But I think, as we know, that award always goes to a big. So, which is annoying, but maybe it could change because he is getting a bit of a narrative around him that, hey, this guy should be defensive player of the year.
He's taking the piss. He's breaking records. He's doing it all. And he's from Bendigo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's our bias take. Probably will be the same next week as well. Hey, Dools, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. The big question.
Yep.
Bringing this segment back. Is Noah Balta the next Marlon Pickett?
Oh, Noah. Noah.
He's a naughty boy.
A naughty boy. Look, that footage didn't look good of him jumping in. Now, a lot of people are up in arms and saying that's the most violent thing they've ever seen in their life. Like, you
Jesus.
scroll the comments online, and there's a lot of people need to get out a little bit more there. He went really hard on that dude. There's no context. We don't know what happened there. That guy, obviously, was a piece of shit. Noah Balta, you got to be better, son. You got to be better. Marlon Pickett, big fan of Marlon Pickett.
Love Marlon.
Big fan. One of the all-time great debuts.
I can't think of a better one.
Grand final, kicks a goal, does a little blind turn in the middle of the centre square, gets Norm Smith medal votes on his debut, was close to winning it as well. I think Noah Balta's got a long way to go to be the next Marlon Pickett.
Well, my thought process is best case scenario for this question, Balta gets the full 5 years. Mm-hmm. Gets let out preliminary, and 5 years from now, Tigers are going to be very
we're going
good.
to have a very good team in 5 years.
Watch the first half, particularly in the first half. There's a lot of run. You can see there's a lot of spirit with those young players. I really like the way they go about it. I like what Uze's doing out there. So 5 years from now, I think you're right in the contention window. So Balta gets it. He gets released prelim final week, waltzes straight into the team and plays in the grand final.
Yeah,
is that a
blind
possibility?
turn. I think that is a possibility.
The next Marlon Pickett.
Because he's also very athletic, can play in a lot of positions like Marlon Pickett. You know, he played in the half-back line. He played in the middle. He played on the wings, played forward in his last year, pinch hit in the ruck. Noah Balta, that type of player as well. Both have, been a little bit of trouble off field and can go a little bit hard on the fists there. I think it's a chance. I think I like where you're thinking there. Could be a chance.
I think I'm right. All right, Dools, you've got a top 5 list.
I've got a top 5 list. So I was doing some shopping, and I walked past a grilled restaurant, and they have done a brand deal with Oscar Piastri, which I think doesn't really make any sense.
What are you talking about? Have you seen the burger?
Yeah.
I haven't got it yet, but they've got because he drives for McLaren. It's a black charcoal bun with orange poppy seed, an orange sauce. It's hot.
I think he should be. I think a brand deal with Macca's makes sense because he could do the drive-through and have a drive-through special, or a bakery because his surname sounds like pastry.
Yep.
So what I've done is I've put together a list, and it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've blown out a little bit from top 5, but there's a couple of honourable mentions.
Okay. Give us your honourable mentions.
The top 5 Aussie athlete / food collaborations.
Yes, let's go.
So Ed Kerno. This is a special mention. He could have a partnership with just any cafe, and they could have a dish called an egg Kerno, and it's like a breakfast dish with eggs. Martin Boyle, the Socceroo, could also have a brand deal because you could have the Martin boiled eggs, with some toast. Just dip it in there.
All right, so I didn't understand the premise. I'm glad we started with honourable mentions. These are the top 5 Aussie athlete food collabs in your mind that could happen, because I thought you were doing actual.
Should happen. No, I'm doing that. Should.
This is what more better than I could have ever hoped.
Should happen.
I was like, this is great. Let's go.
I think Oscar Piastri should vacate his, and they could go with Steph Gilmore, and she could be Steph Grilledmore.
Oh, okay. Steph Grilledmore.
Yep.
Like a little surf and turf.
Yep.
Oh, I like that idea, Dawes. I like that a lot. That's number 5?
No, we're still in the...
We're still in honourable mentions.
We got one more honourable mention.
This might be the best top 5 ever.
All right. And so we've got the athlete runner Morgan Mitchell, and for her, it could go the confectionery angle and go S'moresgen Mitchell. And get your
S'moresgen Mitchell.
All right.
And you said you sold out your first week at the Comedy Festival. That's brilliant.
Man, you just wait here. All right, so what I thought I'd do here is I'd say the athlete and sort of who the brand deal could be with, and you have to figure out what my angle is.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Ash Barty. Okay, and her thing is like social gatherings, events, etc. What do you think?
I thought you were going to go like a chip batty. Like a chip batty that could have done.
Chip buddy, yeah, no.
So like a Barty party catering service?
Yeah, the Ash Barty pies.
Oh, Barty pies.
You have a tray of Barty pies coming out there.
Oh, the perfect serve for your next event.
Yeah.
Barty pies.
Right, that's good.
This is good.
All right, Kyra Cooney Cross from the Matildas, Baker's Delight.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
The Cooper Cross bun.
Hot Cooney Cross bun. It's a bit of a mouthful. It needs work, to be honest.
It's a great mouthful down at Baker's Delight. I do apologise in advance because I've never heard of this athlete before. And I don't want to look at the running.
All right, you'll know the next three athletes. All right, Essendon's Zach Merritt and Pizza Hut.
Zach Merritt Pizza would be the Merritt lovers? No. There's
a few different ways you can do this. Yeah. You can have the Pete's Zach Hut.
God. Are you sure there's a few different ways you can do this?
And you can go and get a large Merritt Garita pizza.
Oh, Merritt Garita. Oh, my goodness. And then they deliver them in bombers, in aeroplanes.
Yeah,
this is great. Yeah. Oh, my God. And they start off hot and get cold real quick.
Yeah. They're not very good. Quantity, not quality.
We'll delivered in the next 20 years or or free.
Yeah.
Like their finals.
All right, we're up to the top two top 5 Aussie athlete food collabs. Current Geelong Cats player, Reece Stanley, and his collab could be with like Noodle Box or something like that. What do you think that would be?
Reece? I would have gone. I was thinking like Reese's Pieces or something like that.
That's a good one.
Or the Stanley knife wonton soup.
Mm-hmm. No, I've gone with Rice Stanley.
Oh my gosh. Rice Stanley?
Rice Stanley.
What's in a Rice Stanley?
It's just white rice. Yeah.
Available at all your leading VFL tuck shops.
Yep.
All right. Rice Stanley.
All right. So, and I've got our favourite.
That was your number two.
That's number two. Number one. And because number one could be from two different different restaurants here. And it's our favourite, Molly Picklum.
Oh, you would order one of these burgers without Picklum.
Boom. Yes. That was one. Yeah, Macca's. And the other one is Mexican food.
Molly Picklum Mexican.
Yeah.
It's not because some of these have been a real stretch as a pun, I would think. So, Molly Picklum. Oh no, I'll just give it to me.
All right, she could get a brand deal with Guzman and Gomez for some guacamole.
Guacamole at Guzman y Gomez. Go to GYG and order some guacamole Picklum.
Yep. That's my top 5 Aussie athlete food collabs.
Oh man, please! I'll clip this up and please let us know in the because there's so many of these Aussie athlete food things. That was great. The best top 5 in the history of the program.
Go out for breakfast. Get some egg kerno this morning.
Eggs kerno.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Aussie Legend of the Week.
Giddey.
It's all Josh.
It's still
Giddey.
No, it's still Giddey. A big shout out though in terms of legends because obviously Josh was Aussie of the Week, but legend. His dad Warwick, he was a very different player. Played for the Melbourne Kmart Tigers through the halcyon days of the NBL, and was a defensive specialist. He was a glue guy. Had one of the ugliest jump shots you have ever seen. There was a period where he had like a long flowing mullet and wore a headband and like the Rambo era, great era. But one of my favourite highlights about Wazza, I think it was in the 1997 NBL Championships, a Southeast Melbourne Magic player was streaming down the court on a fast break and Warwick Giddey did a chase down block and was just one of the all-time great NBL moments. So Warwick Giddey, you are the legend for the week.
We've given him the legend of the week. I love that.
We're keeping it in the Giddey family. Yeah.
Love that. All right. I think we're up to the power rankings.
Yeah, let's hit me with it.
All right. Strap yourselves in. You're going to love this one.
Yeah.
Coming in.
I wonder if Rice Stanley is going to be
Bryce
in
Stanley
there.
is never going to be in anything. At number 10 from the NBA, Josh Giddey.
Josh. We've just named him the Aussie of the week and he's number 10.
He's number 10. That's just because at number 9, Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey, yes.
At number 9.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
back?
yeah,
You're back?
I'm back.
All right. At number 8.
Yep.
You won't pick this one coming. It's Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey, yes.
Josh Giddey's number 8. At number 7, you never see this one coming, Dools. It's Josh Giddey.
I thought, is it Ivan Soldo? No, Josh Giddey. Yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Giddey. At number 6, all the way from Adelaide.
Oh. Josh Giddey?
76. Josh Giddey. It's Josh Giddey. At number 5.
I thought you were going to say Rupert Sapwell.
Yeah, that would have been a real.
He's got very hairy arms, Rupert Sapwell.
Number 5, it's Josh Giddey. At number 4, it's Josh Giddey. At number 3,
Josh Giddey.
At number 2, it's Josh Giddey. And, of course, at number 1...
Guacamole Picklum.
Comes in at number 1. That's the power rankings this week.
Actually?
Yes, it is. Yeah. After that huge GYG deal that she just signed, the guacamole is number 1.
I think I would like to see Josh Giddey get a food collab as well, because he could go with I feel like Josh Giddey likes to keep things local, and so he could go with a good Indian restaurant, and you could have the Rogan Josh Giddey curry.
I like that one. Or I feel like at the United Center in Chicago, the Giddy Up Burger with I don't know, Outback something. That was just Outback steak sauce or something like that.
It's the Giddy Up Burger, so it's the Rogan Josh curry inside a couple of pieces of bread with Vegemite on it. I feel like that. Yeah,
I like it.
Flavor bomb. Flavor bomb indeed.
They're the power rankings, dominated by Josh Giddey and of course Guacamole Picklum.
What's on for the week? That's the end of the episode. Where can we find you this week? What do you got on? It's Comedy Festival.
Great question. You can see I'll be at Goffs every night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Multiple shows across. Obviously the 10 o'clock show. You can see me there every night. 2 Minutes to Kill on Thursday and Saturday. I'll be doing some other spots at Goffs as well, and then probably around town. Might go try and check out some shows tomorrow night. Yep. My night off. But yeah, just doing that. What about yourself, Daddy Cool?
Yeah, Daddy Cool. Thursday through Sunday. Saturday show is Chockers. Friday, when I looked last night, was probably nearly sold out. But there's some tickets left on Thursday and Sunday, so that'll be great. Playing at the Collection Bar, or Comedy Collective. Bridge Road, Richmond. And then I'll probably drop in and do a couple of late night spots here and there. Might drop in at Goffs, might drop in at the Exford Hotel for the after party. We'll just see what happens. But all tickets, jeremydooleyofficial.com or Jeremy Dooley Official on all the Instagram, social media, Facebook, etc., etc.
Exactly. Tickets for my shows, all the link in the bio at Stephen Bradshaw Comedy on all of the socials and Goffs Comedy as well. And posts to the stories. We'll let everyone know what's going on each and every day. It's going to be another busy week, but I'm excited for it.
Should be good. Thank you so much for being a smuggler.
Love you, smugglers. All right.
See you next week.